Hi everyone, I'm Dan Abrams, and this is Court Camp.
We, the jury, find the defendant.
Don't talk to me like that.
Come back up here right now.
A warning, this first story is disturbing. We're in a Berrien County courtroom, and defendant Larry Gordon is seated in the jury box, just off screen to the right. He faces up to life in prison if convicted on charges of armed first-degree criminal sexual conduct, first-degree criminal sexual conduct during a felony, felony kidnapping, and felony assault with a dangerous weapon. The bailiff signals to the deputy just out of camera shot to escort Gordon, whose hands are cuffed in front, back to his holding cell. A gunshot is fired, sending people in the courtroom running for cover. Somehow the defendant, still cuffed, managed to wrestle the deputy's weapon away and shoot him. Everyone's ordered out of the courtroom. Some run for cover into a nearby stairwell. Three more shots fired. The defendant has now shot 2 bailiffs and a deputy. Another bailiff from an adjacent courtroom races to intercept the gunman. There's the defendant now, pushing his way out. The defendant now runs in the same direction where a group of people from the courtroom have taken cover. With guns drawn, several bailiffs now have the defendant cornered. You can hear one of the bailiffs ordering him to drop his weapon. The situation going from bad to worse. The defendant's now taken hostages. It now sounds like the defendant's having one of the hostages attempt to kick down a locked door to help him escape. You can see the defendant more gunshots as people in the courthouse struggle to find a place for cover. A hostage is hit as still more hostages break away. The hostage who was just shot is helped into the courtroom by some others who managed to escape.
It's okay.
315. We need backup.
Please. I don't want to die like this.
Yes, 315. 2 have been shot. 1 bailiff down.
This nightmare scenario finally comes to an end when officers fatally shoot Gordon as he tries to run. The sheriff's deputy and one of the hostages were shot by Gordon, but survived. 2 bailiffs of the court were killed.
Both bailiffs have been law enforcement officers for a long time, and they've been bailiffs for the last 10 years. Our hearts are torn apart. They were our friends. They were my colleagues. I have known them for over 30 years. So it's a sad day.
A handwritten note from Gordon found in his jail cell clearly spells out his premeditated escape or die trying plan. We're at the Muskegon County District Court in Muskegon, Michigan. The man seated here is 46-year-old Vashon Flowers. Flowers is being charged with open murder, which covers first and second-degree murder and manslaughter. The victim? His wife, Jamie Thomas Flowers. Vashon Flowers allegedly shot Jamie at the end of a prolonged, physically violent argument over his smoking. Flowers is in court today for a preliminary hearing, which is held to determine if there's enough evidence to move a case to circuit court for trial. In the gallery is the victim's son, London Thomas. As everyone in the court takes a seat, Thomas seems to keep his eyes on Flowers. It looks like the only thing standing between Thomas and the man who allegedly murdered his mother is a small wall and 25 feet of carpet. London Thomas gets within inches of Flowers before he's wrestled down by a team of security members. Contempt of court. As a result, he's no longer allowed to attend any future hearings connected to the case. The case against Bashan Flowers moves forward. He's denied bail and remains in custody awaiting trial.
Court hereby sentences the defendant to 10 years MSP.
Next, we head to the Butte Justice Court in Butte, Montana. This is James Wasson. He's in court today to receive his sentence for multiple charges, including criminal endangerment, intimidation, and assault on a peace officer stemming from a police pursuit which ended in an hours-long standoff. A SWAT team was called to the scene, and it took a police negotiator hours to get him to surrender peacefully. Wasson's looking to enter a plea for a lesser sentence. The prosecutor's recommending 50 years with 25 suspended. But because he's a repeat offender with a long criminal history, the judge gives him even more.
Court hereby sentences the defendant to 10 years MSP with 3 years suspended. And in relation to counts 2, 6, 7, and 11, the court also sentences the defendant to 10 years MSP.
The 5 counts at 10 years each add up to 50 years with only 15 suspended. That's 35 years total. That's much more time than Wasson was expecting.
Each of these counts shall not consecutive to each other. Is 50 years MSP non-good? Is 50 years with MSP 15 to be hereby suspended?
James, sit down.
He was arrested on November 3rd, 2017. You would have credit from that date.
We show you the credits we get.
Thank you.
Anything else, please?
Would be standard conditions of probation.
During that time period, the court would also enter the standards of the drivers and marshals and standard conditions. You can them up.
Wasson is currently serving his time in the Montana State Prison. Next, we head to Jefferson County Circuit Court in Louisville, Kentucky.
You are on the record in Commonwealth versus Rayton Woodford.
Which is quite
This is 29-year-old Rayton Woodford. He's in the courtroom today for a probation revocation hearing. He'd previously been sentenced to probation for drugs and weapons charges, but violated the terms.
That the testimony you're about to give will be true.
During Woodford's hearing, the detective provides testimony.
That evening, he was charged with a handgun and narcotics.
And if you know, was Mr. Woodford at the time a convicted felon?
Yes, he was.
Once the testimony concludes, the camera, controlled by Judge Barry Willett, remains locked on the empty witness chair as the judge announces his decision.
Probation revoked in its entirety. Mr. Woodford, I'm going to send you to serve 5 years. Good luck to you. No, ma'am.
That flash across the screen was Woodford making a run for it. Woodford's girlfriend can be heard pleading with her boyfriend to stop.
The record will reflect that Mr. Woodford made an unsuccessful effort to escape.
Woodford is stopped by deputies. He's brought back into the courtroom now and taken into custody. Woodford's girlfriend's upset about her treatment by deputies, as she was caught up in the tussle to stop Woodford from escaping.
Well, that's a first in 19 years on the bench. She did tackle him on the way out. Are you okay?
A short while later, Woodford's girlfriend requests permission to address the judge about what happened to her.
We're back on the record in the Woodford case, and Mr. Woodford's girlfriend would like to talk to the court.
I didn't do anything. I tried to stop him.
I noticed that.
There's no reason for him.
Woodford's girlfriend's pointing to a sheriff's deputy who helped prevent Woodford's escape, and in doing so, allegedly had to pull her out of the fray.
He did not. I didn't post any caliber to anybody in here. He done that. I tried to stop him.
What I saw was that Mr. Woodford made an unsuccessful attempt to escape the courtroom, and he was apprehended by law enforcement.
But I understand that. I tried to stop that, but there's no reason for that man to have to pull my hair or push me.
Okay.
But you condone that, right?
I'm not condoning any. No, wait, come back up here right now.
Okay.
Don't you tell me I'm condoning anything. I just told you what I observed. You made an effort to stop him from leaving. I appreciate that. But in the thick of it, when your boyfriend is fighting with deputies, people might get pushed out of the way. Maybe it was for your own safety. He was going to hurt that. Anything else you'd like to say to me? Thank you.
She leaves the courtroom and is not charged. Rayton Woodford begins serving a 5-year sentence in a Kentucky prison. He now faces an additional charge of second-degree escape. We're now in Carson, California. And this woman, former Mayor Vera Robles DeWitt, has just finished addressing the city council in an effort to recall current Mayor Jim Deere. Watch closely as she leaves the chambers. That woman is Public Works Commissioner Jan Schaefer, a supporter of the mayor. Watch again closely. DeWitt swats Schaefer on the back of the head with some papers, causing her to fall to the ground in apparent agony. One more time in slow motion. And now that's the mayor calling for DeWitt to be immediately arrested, which she is.
Let's just take a recess, Mr. Mayor.
DeWitt is charged with misdemeanor battery, but the charges are eventually dropped when DeWitt agrees to take anger management classes and pay $1,500 for Schaefer's medical expenses. Believe it or not, Schaefer suffered no serious injuries as a result of this incident. Now we move to the Hamilton County Courthouse in Cincinnati, Ohio, where an attorney opens a holding tank to let out the next defendant to appear before the judge. This is that defendant. This one has other plans. What he doesn't know is that he's already been spotted by this officer. And his escape route is literally lined with 8 more. The defendant is pursued by no less than 5 officers. The stampede of officers is so loud, it gets the attention of everyone in this adjacent room. He's finally cornered at the other end of the hallway and brought back to the cell. Along with his previous charges of criminal trespassing and theft, from an ill-conceived escape attempt to an ill-conceived arrival. Looks like a typical morning outside the Tulsa County Courthouse in Oklahoma. That is, until this man shows up. To say he's underdressed is an understatement. He's wearing nothing but a shirt, leather harness, and shoes. And to be clear, without this blur here, you'd see it all. Besides the occasional glance, there is surprisingly little reaction. Until he gets to the security checkpoint, where he's immediately arrested and taken into custody. Brian Edward Johnson is booked into jail on a complaint of indecent exposure. He's later released after posting $2,000 bond. So why did 55-year-old Johnson show his 55-year-old Johnson? Believe it or not, he said it was all part of a dare. Next time maybe he should go for the truth and nothing but.
45 years. Good.
Now to the Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court in Cleveland, Ohio. This man, David Chiselton, has been convicted of aggravated arson and felony assault. He's here today to receive his sentence. Investigators claim Chiselton beat his girlfriend with a pistol, then held her hostage before setting an apartment complex on fire. Fortunately, no one else was injured in the fire. Chiselton is handcuffed in the front. This is unusual. Typically, convicts are handcuffed with their hands behind their backs for security purposes. The reason you can't hear the audio is because the body cam of the bailiff hasn't yet fully engaged. I can tell you that the judge is sentencing him to 47 years at this very moment. And he is not happy about that. The man he just attacked was his own attorney, Aaron Brockler.
Hey. Yeah, you saw him? Yeah. No, you messed up, right? You want to finish, right? Okay. When I uncuff you, put your hand behind your back. You understand? Okay.
They're now cuffing him behind his back.
Left hand.
3 deputies escort Chiselton out of the courtroom.
Yeah. We're good.
And down to the holding cell.
SRT!
What's going on? Yeah, so it is now assault, please.
He's charged with 1 count of felonious assault and now faces the possibility of an even longer sentence. Joining me now is the attorney that you see on that video, Aaron Brockler. Thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So take us to the moment before he attacks you. Were you talking to him? Was he just responding to the judge?
I was talking to him, telling him that I was going to come and see him in the jail because there may be some things that we could do to help, mitigate the sentence a little bit. Then he turned and looked at his daughter in the courtroom, uttered a profanity to her, and then that's when he struck me.
Have you ever had anything like that happen to you before?
No, because there's generally safeguards in place. Specifically, usually they're cuffed from behind, and 9 out of 10 times you get along well with the client. You're there to help him. I think he just was overwhelmed the years he got.
Was he expecting a lesser sentence?
I don't think he was expecting it. I think he was hoping for it, and I prepared him for the fact that expect them to argue for the max. We'll argue for the minimum. Judge will probably come out somewhere in the middle. She actually was below the middle, but I think he just seeing his ex and seeing his child there, and then hearing the amount of years probably just led to a breakdown for him.
What sort of injuries did you endure?
He broke my nose, got me on the left side of my nose, so I may have to have some surgery there to improve the breathing. I believe that I lost consciousness when it happened. Well, I think that he knocked me out, and then I fell into the table and then landed underneath the trial table. When I woke up, people were like, "Are you okay?" It was like taking a slap shot in the face. My head was just ringing, and I was like, "Whoa," because I didn't see it coming. It was a total sucker punch. Yeah.
Aaron Brockler, thanks very much for coming in. We appreciate it, and good luck with the ongoing recovery.
Thank you.
That is it for this edition of Court Cam. Thanks for watching. See you next time.